welcome. I've been wanting to make this video for 2 or 3 weeks now, but there's a lot of background planning and just, I'm making it now. Now, you're one of two people. You're either watching this because you're a valued member of our email list. You've been with us for a while and you're getting this a day early. This video is a private link on YouTube. However, if you're not watching it that way, then it must be a day later where it is live to the public. So, whichever two buckets you are, I'm grateful you're here because we're finally ready to announce the KiwiLabs circuit. Now, I think this is interesting for me. So, we haven't released a paddle in almost a year. We hit the ground running with 4 paddles right out the gate, and then we kind of parked the brakes because we knew whatever we wanted next to mean a little more than just, we didn't want to do something that someone else is doing, and it's hard not to do that. This hard. Each one of these is a prototype that we've been working on. None of them made the cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one was close. 8. And then we got here. There's actually 2 or 3 more that I couldn't find. I think they're prototypes that someone liked and I gave them to, whatever. There was a lot more than this is what I'm trying to say. And I really just think that's important to show you guys that we didn't just grab something and throw it together. I really want that conveyed. We did work on this and one other one. So I also want to mention that too, because we are working on a Kevlar carbon fiber paddle that will be very, very shortly released after this. But I just want to preface that in case someone who is ready to hop on this pre-order and maybe is more interested in a Kevlar paddle, you can hold off because I can understand that would stink if you liked one versus the other. Whatever. All right, back on track here. The KiwiLabs circuit, what's so special, Larry? You just really hyped it up a little. Well, we've been experimenting with Gen 3 for a while now. We've tried entire foam cores, we've tried floating cores, we've tried foam injected edges versus foam injected sidewalls. We've tried a lot of variations. What it came down to wasn't a power, it wasn't a control thing, it was a market fit. What is someone doing that we could offer that's different? And I also asked myself, what do I want to play with? And what I landed on was this, what we're calling a rainbow formation of foam injected into the cells of the paddle. I'll put a graphic on here. This is a computer rendering of roughly what it looks like. And the basic analysis, if I could really sum it up, is this is a 14. We will have a 16 launching later, but all pre-orders will be for a 14 millimeter paddle. And I think it's for the biggest reason is, in my opinion, thinner paddles lack a little power. I think they've often been classified as a more powerful paddle, but when you're at the baseline and you're trying to hit a ball back, if the paddle doesn't have weight and thickness to it, you are generating the power and the paddle's not really doing the work. Therefore, I do think the heavier and 16 millimeter paddles actually give you more plow through or power when you're at the line, mid-core, etc. So we wanted to solve that while still having an amazing, quick feeling paddle. So it should also be said, this is probably more tailored to someone who is 4.0 and above. They're going to get the most value out of this paddle. That said, if you're 3.5 or even 3.0 and you're trying to grow into it and you're taking the sport seriously, this paddle's probably for you as well. I really can't explain exactly how amazing it is at the line, but it is unstoppable. When it comes to hand speed and being able to deliver a shot that you need when a ball is blazing at you, this is the paddle for that. It's got consistency. That is, again, the thing that I want to have in all of our paddles. The slice I talk about more than any of the paddles that we make because that is a consistent paddle. All of the paddles that I want to produce here, I don't want them to be super powerful. I want them to help players get to the next point in their pickleball career. So to take a step even further back, if you are that Amazon paddle, right, and you're ready to finally upgrade and you're playing a lot, then the 0-0 start or the slice is that perfect paddle to help learn the skills to get you to that next spot. Or if you are at that next spot, you're playing 3-5 and you're trying to get to 4-0, you could step into the Cannon, you could step into the Circuit, you can step into some of our are spiked, which I am hesitating to say because we sold out of these again, more on the way, but who knows when. All that to say is I really wanted this paddle to come and offer something unique. So this extra layer of foam is designed more for consistency. We want this to be an all-court paddle. It has power. Don't get me wrong. And it generates a lot of work. And what I would say it shines in is letting someone with a natural swing, especially if you come from tennis, really accelerate that. So if you hit hard and you're looking for paddle to match it and you hit it, this is not where that shines. However, if you have consistent strokes and you got a little more of a flick that you can generate with your shots and you're playing at a higher level where you can do that, this thing explodes and it's really, really, really nice. And it's not too poppy either. I know some 14 millimeter critics would say that they're a little too poppy. I think the foam actually dampens and helps with dwell time a little bit to be a little bit more consistent at the line and not as poppy and give you a chance to direct the ball before it's off the face of your paddle and you didn't have a chance to tell the ball where to go. So all of that said is not very scientifical. And I don't think scientifical is a word. But I'm just trying to communicate in my words the benefits I'm seeing of this paddle. I played with it all morning and I was so excited with how I was playing that I said, today's the day I finally make the video and launch it because I want to ride the high of this paddle. What else is there to say? The shape. It's not unique. I know that. However, again, where this shined was something quick in the hands. And this shape lends to that. It is very, very quick in the hands. Being a 14 millimeter, it's very, very quick in the hands. If you are want to be the Ernie God like that, this is the paddle that'll do that. Like if you want to be quick, you're quick, and you want something to match that, it's quick. And I need that to my game, and it's helped me there in the hands battles and being able to not only be in the hands battles but direct it to where I want to go. This is my paddle I was playing with today. That's why it's all dirty. Man, it has been a journey, and things are never a dull moment in the pickleball world. I think we are at a crossroads at a company where competition's crazy too. So we don't think we want to compete with these higher end paddles. That's why our price for this is going to be $150. Compared to any other Gen 3 paddle, I hopefully we're going to be the most affordable one. And that's my goal. Not only that, with our entire lineup, the sale prices that you see on our site right now is where we're going to stay. So that's another announcement I'd like to make here while you're watching, while I have your attention. The Slice and the Cannon will remain at $99. I hope that that is an incredible, and people see it as the incredible value it is. If you've played with those paddles, you know that that's a pretty good deal. And now you can even use a 10% off code or whatever and get it even less than that. So we're here to compete, and I'm hoping that the volume that we can generate with these lower prices will make up for the lack of profit we'll have. So that's the announcement. And then our 0-0 start, probably one of my favorite paddles, actually, even though it's our intermediate beginner paddle. That's our Gen 1.5 paddle. That will be $75, or we're going to do 2 for $99. So if you and a loved one or you and a buddy want to go in on it together, you can basically get them $50 a paddle. So that's the announcement on our pricing. And as a whole, we're still here. We're ready to bring on to that next generation. And hopefully the circuit is something that, you really enjoy. My final thing that I should have mentioned earlier, actually, is about the break-in period that you hear about in a Gen 3 paddle. Now we're doing something maybe a little gimmicky, which I love. We're calling it Gen 2.9 because I don't want it to be associated with the Gen 3 power paddles, because I don't want to set that expectation. But I also want you to know there is power with it, so it's everything up to that line without crossing it. And there is a break-in period, so I do want to address that. I noticed when I first started playing with this versus the samples I tried before, the other samples I've been playing with for a while, so I broke it in and didn't really realize that. And I always kind of found that as an excuse that manufacturers were making, but it's real. And the metaphor I'd like to kind of throw your way is, think of like a baseball mitt. It's very stiff when it comes out of the factory or you buy it new. And there's all those tricks to oil it up or put rubber bands around it. But at the end of the day, you just need to play with it to get the feel back. And the materials used in this paddle are very similar. The foam is a little rigid out of the box, but once it gets a little more action on it, it starts to do what you want it to do, giving it a little more rebound and having a little more control on the paddle. So I do ask, if you're one of the people to try this out early, that you make sure you get a couple play times, maybe drill with it before you hit the courts, because there is a dramatic difference between hour 1 of playing with it and hour 8 of playing with it. And I'd say roughly 8 hours until you feel the full effects of this paddle. I don't love that. I just don't have a good idea on how we could break it in before selling it without having, like, putting it through a rep machine, and, maybe we'll solve that next time. But I think it's worth addressing now instead of later, or having reviewers have to talk about that. And the final part of this video is about the reviewers. I have this and a whole box of paddles ready to be sent out to people who want to review this. And I have a list of all of the famous YouTube reviewers in my computer here. However, I'm not going to send it to them unless they want it, or if you are watching this video and you're a reviewer and you would like to try one. So I'm trying something new here. If you're watching this video and you are interested in trying this and you have experience making videos, you are welcome to be a reviewer of this new paddle. All I ask is that you email Larry@KiwiPickleball.com. Send me at least one video that you've made before. I don't care about your subscribers. I don't care about anything like that. If it's your first video, as long as you've made videos in the past and you can kind of show me that you know what you're doing behind the camera, I invite you to do it until the paddles are gone. So starting now too, you can email me that if you are interested in making a review for the paddle, and we can work out how that works via email. And yeah, if you are a reviewer watching this, that goes for you too, because I don't want to waste anyone's time. I feel like there's so many paddles on the market. The reviewers out there do such a fantastic job, and they're flooded, and that's why everyone's sending in paddles. They can't keep up. And I don't want to just pile on something and not give it the time it deserves. So I really only want people who are interested in trying the paddle to reach out. And I know you're out there. So if that's you, come on down. And then we'll throw them all on the website from everyone together, and I'll send that out. So I'll figure that part out later. Anyway, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. And I don't know, welcome to chapter 2 of KiwiLabs. Bye.